Hi everyone. So today we're going to work with Module 7 equipment work on the mat. So we're going to do some Wonder Chair and Cadillac exercises. You do need to have a couple of small apparatus toys with you. So something everyone has at home is a small towel. You're going to need that for later. You're going to need a TheraBand, a long TheraBand, and a looped band, or you're just going to loop your TheraBand, but you do need a long TheraBand. This is not essential. A small ball is great, or something that's got give. So maybe 2 or 3 scatter cushions on top of each other that you can squash or press into. A yoga block or a stack of books, so this or a small step is great. And then a foam roller if you have one, that would be great, or potentially a skateboard if you have a skateboard at home. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of things to the side for now, and then we'll just kind of bring them in as we go. So we're going to start with the Wonder Chair pelvic curl as part of our warm-up. So you'll lie down. I'm just going to keep my small ball close by. I'm going to keep my bands close by, particularly the looped band, or you're going to wrap your band and tie it around your ankles. Okay. So just to start to warm up a little bit, we're going to start straight away lying down on your back. We're just going to start with a couple of pelvic rocks, and then we'll introduce our Wonder Chair pelvic curl. So for now, just lying comfortably on the floor. You can even have your arms out a little bit to the sides of the mat. We're going to take a breath in. Big exhale, staying still. Rotate your head to the left. Big inhale, breath. And exhale. Head to center, breath in. Exhale. Head to the right, breath in. Exhale. Head back through the center, breath in. Exhale. Pelvic rocks, allowing the head to respond. We're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, you're going to draw the pubic bone to the nose, and as you do that, the spine will flex, and you'll feel that the chin will naturally just start to tip back a little bit. You're not really doing anything with the head, it happens naturally. And then as you arch the spine, move through neutral, start to really arch the spine and feel how the chin naturally falls to the chest. And let's rock through that. So just wave the spine, tucking pubic bone to nose, no glute activation, and as you do that, you'll feel the head will tip ever so slightly backwards, and then you'll roll through neutral, you'll arch the back, and as you arch, you'll feel the head will fall to the chest. Excuse me, and then curl pubic bone to nose, allow the chin to rise. And then you'll relax through neutral, you'll arch the back, and you'll feel the head just fall. Shoulders are relaxed. You're not really controlling the action in the neck or the shoulders. Last one, just allow the head to roll and the pelvis to rock. Release the pelvis through neutral to arch, let the chin tuck in. And then relax to a neutral position. Just getting a little bit of rotation. We're going to lift the right hip ever so slightly up towards the ceiling. You're going to curl the pubic bone away from the face into an anterior tilt over to the right. Lift your left hip, and then you're going to curl posterior tilt through center, leveling the hips. Continue to the left. Right hip rises, left hip lowers. Arc the back, arch the spine, anterior tilt, and then keep rocking. One more time. So try keep the knees still. Imagine there's a little 5-rand coin on just under your sacrum, so the flat bone of your pelvis, and you're rolling around that 5-rand coin. Change direction. So you're going to drop your right hip. You're going to anterior tilt or arch your pelvis away. Then you're going to drop the left hip, curl pubic bone to nose through center. Continuing your pelvic clock in the anterior clockwise direction. Try to keep the knees relatively still. Last one. Try to disassociate the pelvis a little bit from the rest of the body. And then just settle comfortably in the center. Right, you're going to find your roller. You're going to bring that roller nice and close underneath your feet. We're going to take our prehensile foot position to match the pelvic curl on the Wonder chair. So you're going to put the balls of the feet onto the roller, fist distance apart. Then you're going to wrap the toes over the roller and the heels low to the floor. You're going to go parallel with those feet, inner thighs active, arms are now close to the sides, pressing into the floor. We'll take a breath in. On the exhale, we're going to draw pubic bone to nose. We're going to press down into the roller and slightly drag the roller towards the sitting bones to keep the roller still as you pelvic curl, heels low, keeping that prehensile foot position. Inhaling at the top. Exhale as we articulate down. We're keeping the roller nice and still and really trying to move through the spine. So we're going to aim for 5. Inhale. Exhale. Active through the arms, hollowing in through the waist. We're going to just find that articulation, hips up to the sky, energy through the inner thighs. Press your hips level. Keep the posterior tilt. Inhale. Exhale to articulate down. Really trying to let go of the glutes and then the hamstrings, and then you're back into neutral. Inhale. Exhale. Dig deep into the waist to curl pubic bone to nose. And then we rise, wrapping those toes, heels pressing into the floor. Inhale at the top and exhale to come down. Landing to neutral. We've got our last 2. Exhale, wheel the toes around between the repetitions. If your feet feel like they're going to cramp or your toes feel like they're going to cramp. Inhale, exhale, keeping that roller nice and still. And we're back to the bottom. Last one, inhale, exhale. Energy through the arms, lengthen the back of the neck, bridging the hips to the sky. Inhale, and bring it down, exhale. Rounding into that lower back, landing into a neutral position. We're going to add our supine twist here, arms to the sky, out into a T position, nice and wide across the chest. Right leg rises to tabletop. Left leg rises to tabletop. Adduct the legs together. We'll take an inhale as the legs come over to the right hand side, keeping that left shoulder blade down. We're going to add to it by rotating the head in opposition to the left hand side. And then exhale as we pull, everything comes back to center. And we go legs to the left and head to the right as we rotate. And everything pulls back to center. And legs to the right, head to the left, keeping the shoulder girdle just anchored down into the floor. Exhale, returning back to the center. Legs to the left, head goes to the right. Last round. And everything returns back to the center. Let's plant 1 foot down, 2 feet down, just comfortably to the floor. Don't worry about the roller. Interlace the hands at the base of the skull for our chest lift warm-up. Breathe in. Exhale, sinks the waist down. Lengthen away with the head, away from the tail, and then curl up over a big ball out in front of you. We'll sweep the hands behind the back of the thighs. That support is going to give us a little bit of extra height and a little bit of extra depth into the waist. Then we're going to sweep the hands back behind the head again. Breathe in. Exhale as you articulate down. Traction the base of the skull a little bit away from the shoulders to lengthen the back of the neck and a little bit into the upper back. Inhale. We've got 4 more. Exhale. Feel that you're lengthening and stretching the back line as much as you're connecting the front line. And then we lift up a little bit higher, sink the waist down. Hold that new height. Sweep the hands behind the head and then hold the base of the skull with those thumbs. so that when you peel and paste the spine back down again, there's this sense of lengthening the back line of the body. 3 more with that intention. Breath in. Exhale, peels you up. Draw down through the waist, eyes through thighs. Hands go behind the back of the legs to give you an extra little bit of support, an extra little bit of contraction. Then keep that new height, hands behind the head, to lengthen the base of the skull down and away. Inhale. Exhale starts with the hollowing of the waist. I like to use a sighing out breath at this stage in the session. Just really to sigh the breath, sink the waist, lift a little higher. Inhale. Behind the head to stay. Exhale. Breathe in, prepare, rotation to the left. Exhale to rotate. Hold it, hands behind the left thigh. That's going to give you a chance to maybe come up a little higher. Not from the neck, but from crunching deeper into the waist. Sweep the hands behind the head. Over to the center. To the right hand side. Exhale. Hands behind that right thigh. That brings you up a little higher, deepening into the waist. Hands back behind the head. Back to the center. Now we go from side to side. Exhale to left. Inhale, center. Exhale to right. And center. Equal weight through the back of the pelvis. And to center. Over to the right. And center. Last one. We stay on the left. We go back to our support. Only this time it's to give us a mini roll up. So we do a little extra depth on that left for 1 and 2. Keep that right side anchored. 3, 4. Sink the waist is 5. Hands behind the head. Sit up to the right hand side. High off the scaps. Hands behind that thigh. There's always a little bit more. We lift for 5. Try not to move from the neck. 4. Think rib to hip. 3. Sink the waist down. 2. And 1. Takes the hands behind the head. Back through the center line. And then pace the chest, head, and shoulders down. All the way down to the bottom. And from there, we're going to go into our abdominal work. So we're going to do a pike sitting from the Wonder Chair against the wall. So we're going to move the roller out of the way. You're going to take your TheraBand and we're going to sit up close to a wall, and then you want to sit with your feet flat against the wall. So I'm going to sit relatively close so I can imagine the height of the Wonder Chair out in front of me. I'm going to bring my feet up onto what would be the edge of the chair, but I'm going to plant my feet flat, legs together. Then I'm going to take my band, hook it under the arches of the feet, keep the heels glued into the wall so that the band doesn't slide out. Then plant your feet flat. Find that nice active flexion into the spine. So really find that C shape into the spine. Palms are facing down, scapula resting on the back rib cage. We're going to keep the heels grounded to keep the band still. Breathe in. And our exhale breath is going to press the arms down and a little bit back towards us, deepening that contraction in the waist. Inhale to lift. Keep the spine still. Exhale. Inhale. Think a little work under the armpits. Exhale, hollows the waist, but doesn't change that feeling of flexion, elongation. Controlling in both directions always. Let's go 3. And let's go for 2. And the last one in that C shape, hollow the waist. And to return up to the top again. And then we're going to go into our hamstring curls from the Wonder Chair as a feeling of a little bit of hip work. So it's hamstring curls and then hip opener. So you're going to need your small ball close by. You're going to take your band and you're going to wrap it and tie it at your ankles. Or if you have a looped band, you're going to place it over the ankles. And then you're going to lie back, make sure your small ball is close by. Arms down alongside the body. For our hamstring curls, hug in through the waist, strong center. We're going to float the legs up at a tabletop position. So really connect the middle, bring the legs up tabletop. Flex the feet as if you had your heels onto the pedal. Check that the pelvis is neutral. And then we're going to use the right leg as an anchor to create resistance. We're going to slip the band under the heel of that left leg. And then keeping the right leg still, we're going to just bend into the left leg to get the hamstring. You'll feel that hamstring activate, and then you'll lift back up to a table. Really not moving the thighs all that much. For 2, we want to get into short range hamstring here, and then back up to table. And pelvis is nice and stable for 3. So there's no movement left to right or anterior, posterior. For 4. Getting into that hamstring and table. And 5. A lot of work in the core as that right leg has to stay lifted and it becomes your anchor. And one more time. Exhale. And then we just lift, we hook the band over the ankle on the left and just under the heel on the right. Just so that you can hook the band as you move. Check pelvis is stable and neutral. And again there, we're going to press down, this time through the back of the right knee. Left leg stays at a clean table to resist. And then returning. Keeping the thigh bone pretty still for 2. So we're just looking for hamstring. And we're not pressing the knee away from the body. For 3, we're just bending the knee. Of course, the opposite leg is working really hard just to stay still. Getting a nice bit of outer side leg as well as the legs stay fist distance apart. And we've got 4 more. And we're going to go for 3. And then we're going to go for 2. And the last one. And then we're going to take the band off. And we're going to transition for hip opener. So you need to get your small ball. You're going to take the ball and you're going to place the outside blades of the feet onto the ball. Soles of the feet all the way touching. And then you're going to bring the knees out wide into a butterfly position. Check that as you do that, the pelvis hasn't changed from neutral. So you want to make sure that your pubic bone and hip bones are level to the floor. Now really, even though your resistance is at the ankles, think about the action of this movement coming from the hip joint. So that whole butterfly shape is now going to start to press down and into the floor, pressing into the ball, keep the pelvis neutral. And then just allow the ball to essentially inflate again. Exhale, you're going to press down through the whole diamond shape of the legs, thinking of working deep in the hips into external rotation. And then release. I'm not actually clenching my glutes. So the glute activation is a result of that external rotation. Try not to press down and clench the glutes. Exhale. Feel free to move the ankles a little bit further away or a little closer towards you. You might, if you're very tight in the adductors, you might predominantly just feel this as an adductor stretch. There's nothing wrong with that. But we are hopefully going to get a little bit of external rotator work. Let's do 2 more. And release. And the last one. And then release. Hands to the outsides of the thighs to close the legs in. And we'll just bring the ball towards us. So from there, we're going to go into our cat stretch. And then we're going to do, and then our thigh stretch. But we're going to do the cat stretch from module 7 from the Wonder Chair. So What I'm going to do is elevate my knees a touch so that it's mimicking being on the top of the chair. So I've got a yoga block here. You could use a couple of books to stack up, is also good. And then we need our roller back in front of us again so that we've got some movement to be able to essentially roll forward, articulating the spine like we would with the pedal. So I've got my knees just as fist distance apart as the yoga block will allow. And then I'm actually going to elevate my feet and point my feet as if my shins were on top of the Wonder chair. As much as possible, I'm going to try and keep my lower legs still, keep my thigh bones vertical. Breathe in. Exhale, you're going to start to articulate the spine down, trying as best you can to keep the thighs vertical and the pelvis tucked under. Once I meet my roller, I might have to walk it out with my fingertips a little bit. Then I'm going to start to articulate my spine forward and away, and then eventually also lifting the sitting bones a touch to allow that spine to lengthen, framing the head with the arms, catching the rib cage to not collapse. Exhale, I'm going to really deeply flex my spine, press into the roller and curl up, keeping the feet still, shins parallel to the floor. Come just into a rounded C. Inhale again, we're going to glide away, allowing the head to come down, framed by the arms. Lift the sitting bones to get length in the lumbar. Exhale, we're going to curl, moving the roller due to that flexion in the spine. 3 more. A lot of work in the shoulders here. There's a lot of work in the abdominals. Without collapsing the body, catch your spine. Exhale. Curling up. Really deeply round. Get a little higher on each repetition. Last 2. Inhale. Lengthening. Lower the body down. Try keep those thighs as vertical as possible. Exhale. Tuck under, tuck under, tuck under. See if you can almost feel that you're levitating off the roller. Last one. Inhale down. Chest is low. Exhale. Now we're going to try and keep the pelvis as far forward as possible. Keep the abdominals engaged. I'm going to slowly lift my fingertips. Take the pelvis forward again. Remember the arms rise up in front of you on the Wonder chair for the kneeling cat, and arms down alongside the body. And then you simply come off your block, keeping the position roughly the same. And we're going to have the knees planted into the floor. You're welcome to hold onto the roller as if you were holding onto the roller bar for our thigh stretch from the Cadillac. So the feet are fist distance, arms are reaching out in front. The first action is going to be a flexion into the lumbar spine, posterior tilt the pelvis. Then from there, you're going to start to hinge from the knees. And as the body starts to travel backwards, the rest of the spine is going to follow that flexion that started at the lower back, and you're going to create a lovely C shape in the spine. Eyes fall just down at the edge of the roller. Hold breath in. From the knees, we're going to build back up, keeping the shape of the spine until the last moment. We build back to a neutral high shin position. Inhale. Starting lumbar flexion, hinge from the knees, allow the rest of the spine to follow the shape of the lower back. Go as far as you can, you hold, inhale. Hinge from the knees to return back up to the top in that C shape. At the last moment, we build to a neutral. 3 more. Start lumbar. Follow with the rest of the spine. So notice it's not an extension of my spine, I'm actually in flexion. Hold breath in. Exhale to return in that same shape. Only at the end do we let go of that abdominal contraction. Tuck under and hinge, and maybe a little further on this second last one. Hold, coming back up to restack last time, and we tuck and we roll, travel back, travel back. We hold breath in, and we bring it up to neutral. Let's take the roller out of the way. And let's just add a stretch, so it's not from module 7, but we'll just do a little lunge stretch. So you'll have the left foot planted down between the hands. We're just going to add rotation. So right hand will stay down, right knee is either down or you can straighten that back leg, and then you'll sweep your left arm up towards the sky. Breathing here, active through both legs. Then you'll sweep the arm down and you'll bring the back knee down if it was up. Left hand is now going to go onto the inseam of the left leg. And you're going to reach your right arm open, pressing the shoulder and knee into each other on the left. Then you'll sweep that arm down. Place the hands on either side of that front leg. And then we'll lead with the sitting bones, making sure that the back stays long. So bring the hands back if you need to. Maybe you flex the front foot. Maybe there's length in the front foot, or leg, or a little bit of a bend, but really try and lengthen the spine. Staying there in that flexed foot position, you're going to roll the foot flat and then flex it, and then you windscreen wiper it left and right. So we plant it, flex it, left and right. Last one in center, plant, flex, left, right, plant the foot down, simply step the right leg to meet the left leg steps back. Either back knee down or keep it lifted. Left hand stays to floor, sweeping open on the right. Let's really breathe into rotation. And then you're going to sweep the arm back behind you, bring the back knee down for everyone, especially if your leg was lifted. Then you're going to plant the right arm on the inseam of the right leg, press shoulder and knee into each other, and then open up, breath in. Find that beautiful rotation, back foot either flat or lifted. Sweep the arm down, both hands on the outside of that front foot. And then as you transition back, bring the hands back if you need to, so you can keep that feeling of pride in the chest. Flex the foot. Maybe this front leg is straight, maybe not, but really lengthen the spine. And then we go from here, we point, flex, and we windscreen out and in from the hip. Then we point, flex, don't just move the ankle, move from the hip joint, the whole leg goes out, the whole leg comes in. One more, point, flex, and we go out and in. And then from there, we're going to come up to standing. So grab your yoga block, and you need your band, and we're going to come to standing. So we're going to do our lunge forward and our backward step down. So you're going to take the block or your stack of books, and you're going to place your foot, your right foot, up onto the block. Now you can make this step a little bit higher. That's totally up to you. You can use a staircase, you can use maybe a dining room table chair, might be a little bit high for the amount of control that we're looking for, but go for it if you can. And then you're going to reach down and you're going to place the band under your heel, and you're going to reach down and take quite a strong band, so quite a short band. And then you're going to set up for your forward lunge. So the back leg is planted, body is upright. So the lunge forward on the Wonder Chair, the aim is to rise through the crown of the head rather than leaning forward. So we want to really think about that here. So nice and proud, I want you to use the articulation of the back foot, ground through the heel and the front foot, and we're going to roll off the heel at the back, off the ball of the foot at the back, and we're just gently going to introduce load to the right leg, keeping the right glute active so we're not jutting the hip out on the right. Then we land through the toe, ball, heel of the back leg for 4 more. Chest is proud. As you lift, I'm thinking heel to buttock on the right. So I'm trying to pull the heel to the buttock on my right. As I introduce the load, I keep the hips square within the frame of my arms. And then I'm going to lower down through toe ball heel, using the back foot to transfer the weight. 3 more. And then we land. Last 2. Really think of propelling yourself forward from the right leg, the back of the right leg, without leaning forward. Last time. Then we're going to hold it there. We're going to then hold in that position for a balance. And hopefully if you do have a yoga block, it's a little bit squishy, so it's going to give you a little challenge. And then you lower back down. So if you're on a hard surface, you won't feel that too much. Then you're going to take your band out, same leg. We're going to place the roller just behind the block. Put the band close by to you because we're going to get it again in a moment. For our backward step down, you're going to put your right foot again onto the block. You're going to shift your body forward and your sitting bones back in such a way that the front shin can stay as vertical as possible. So I'm really counterbalancing my sitting bones shooting back with my body going forward. Then you're going to cross the arms out in front of you. You're going to load into your front leg, stay low and really stick your buttocks out. And then once you've found your balance, hold isometrically with that right side. And we're going to take the nails of the toes onto the roller. You're going to get a little lower, and we're going to pump that left leg by gliding it back. 8 rounds. We glide 1, 2, get low, 3, 4, 5, keep that right side still, 6, 7, hug the waist, 8, and all the way up. To change the sides. So we're going to work now into the left side for our forward lunge. So you're going to place the heel onto the band. So you really feel grounded through the heel, and then take that nice tight band. We're going to come up to standing. Do make sure your toes are also on the band, on the block. Body upright. And then from there, I'm just going to move my roller back a little bit. You just stand on your right leg. Draw back with that left heel. And then we roll through the heel ball toes of the back leg. Square hips between the shoulders, between the arms. Keep the back leg active as it lifts theoretically off the pedal. And then we go toe, ball, heel as we land down. Really pull back with that left heel of the left side. So as I lift, I'm thinking of going up to the ceiling. And then we lower, toe, ball, heel. And we've got 3 more. Try keep the left knee tracking over the second and middle toe. So we want to avoid the knee dropping in. 2 times. Hug through the center, levitate, and down. Last one. Tall and down. And we're going to go up. We're going to take that moment in balance. If you're on a hard surface, it's going to be easier. If you're on a little yoga block, it's quite nice. It just gently challenges the ankle stabilizers, body tall, and we land. And then we just take the band out off to the side. Make sure your roller hasn't snuck too far away from you. Bring it close. And then we're going to take the leg on the left. The shin is going to go vertical, so we've got to sit way down with the sitting bones. Arms go out in opposition, counterbalance. I'm going to keep my arms forward and my sitting bones back and down. Draw the waist in. Then you're going to stay low. You're going to float onto the toes on the right side, on the tops of the toenails. Stay low, and let's go for our 8 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch that tracking. 5, 6. Don't let the knee fall in. 7, and 8. And to stand. And we're going to come out from there. Lovely. So we're going to go into our arm work. So you need your TheraBand, and you need a balustrade or I've got a window handle here. That's at shoulder height or just a little higher would actually be better. And then we're going to do our arm series here from the Cadillac. So you're going to stand perfectly centered on the attachment of the band in a nice strong plank standing posture. Watch that you're not throwing your knees back, that you've got maybe a softness into the knee joints so that you can really get the pelvis beautifully neutral. Elbows are straight, wrists are straight, chest proud. We're going to work here on an exhale to extend the shoulders back for our chest expansion. And forward. Keeping the body strong and still. We go for 2. Knuckles to the floor, elbows are straight. For 3. Controlling both directions. For 4. Hug through the midsection for 5. And we'll go to 8. Two more. And the final one to stay. We're going to add on a little extra to the series here. We hold and we just take the neck over to the left. Center, keep the chest square. Head to the right. Center and arms forward. So we're just adding this on. We pull the arms back. We hold. Head goes right. Head goes left. Body stays still. Center and arms forward. 2 more rounds. So as the arms travel back, look left, keep the elbows straight, wrists straight, look right, center and return. Last time, we pull the arms back, and we look right, we look left, we come to center, and we release. So now we're going to take the band from behind us, over the top of the shoulders. You're going to step forward, just make sure you're in the middle. You're going to step forward and find a nice leaning plank position. So you're just ever so slightly going to lean forward. You're going to hug through the middle so the body's planked. And we're going to take the arms into a T position. For hug a tree, arms parallel to the floor, we're going to pull the arms forward for 1 and out to the sides. Make sure you're leaning. So as the arms come forward, the band should go over, just over the shoulders. Does depend on where you've attached it. And for 3. Just 1 more for the hug a tree. Think wide across the room. We've got 5 rounds for circles up. So we bring the arms forward, turn the palms down. Then as the arms rise, keeping the position of the body absolutely still, we sweep to T. And let's go for 2. Turn, lifting, arms are strong and straight. And 3. Reaching up. Trying to disassociate the shoulders from the spine, especially as they rise. Keeping the ribs contained. 1 more. And out, change direction, we lift. Down circles to go wide to T. And it's 2. And it's down and wide to T. 3. Keeping that still body position. 4. 1 more. Up, down, out to T. Then we just bring the fists towards the front edges of the shoulders, keep the chest square, lean the body, and we punch. Exhale, 2 punches. 1, 2, inhale, switch middle. Exhale, slight angle of the arms, just to get the bands over the top of the shoulders. Breathing, inhale for both, exhale for both. Inhale for both. Exhale for both. Release, step forward, stay in that leaning position without jutting the sitting bones out. Tuck under, nice strong plank. Open collarbones. You're going to keep the elbows nudged back, and we're going to bend for our bicep curls. We're going to bend under, and then just allow the elbows to extend. Keep that little bit of leaning forward. 2 times. Last one. And release. And you can let go of the band there, and you can leave the band. We're done with the band now. So the next exercise is quite challenging. We're going to do the Cadillac side lift, and you're going to need to have a table that you can hook your legs under. So something that's heavy enough to support your weight. This is where the little towel comes into play. So you're going to cross your ankles over each other so the top leg is in front of the bottom leg. You're going to place the towel over the ankles so that they don't get hurt when you wedge them under the table. And then you're going to lie down in one long line and slide the ankles in underneath whatever it is, table, coffee table, heavy chair maybe. And then you're going to try and really lie stacked with your shoulders, stacked with your hips. And then we're just going to mimic the choreography of the Cadillac. So the top arm is going to reach overhead. Now you've got to really make sure that in this exercise you're not rocking forward and back. So it's really challenging. So hug through the middle. We're going to close the fingers of the top hand over the bar. We're going to bring the push through bar toward the shoulder, up towards the ceiling. At the moment that arm straightens at the top, we're going to press the legs up into the coffee table, so my legs are lifting to give me leverage. I'm going to reach my bottom arm, not so much up to the sky, but away into the longest possible side body lift without rocking forward and back. Then I'm going to lower back down again and bend the top arm to reach overhead. So we're going to do that again. Bend the arm, lift the arm, reach away with the bottom arm, press the legs into the table and look for length. And then we lower and we reach, bend, straighten, bring it back up and lengthen and lower, framing this ear or head with the right arm in this case, or the bottom arm. We've got 2 more. Lift and lengthen, lowering, bend. Last time, bring it up, and you're reaching this arm up to the sky as if those springs were helping you. We lift, lower, and bend, and reach, and then we change to the other side. So I'm going to turn my back to you just so you can see it anyway on both sides. So place the toweling under the ankle where your feet are hooking under the table. Top leg is in front of the bottom leg. And then we're going to lie down in one long straight stripe. It's important that we don't rock forward and back. Arm goes overhead. Scapula stable. We bring the arm in, up to the ceiling. As if the springs are pulling me up, use the legs into the table, reach away with the bottom side, and look for a long body lift. And then we lower down, bend and reach. We go 2. Lower down, bend and reach. Adjust if you need to. 3. Try look for length, not just height. Lower, and 2 more. Bend, arm straight. As that arm straightens, we lift. And we lower. As soon as the head drops, the elbow bends, reaches over. 1 more. Reach, lengthen, and lower. Bring it over, stretch. And then we're going to finish with our back extensions. So we're going to turn to face the table. So since we have got our foam roller, we're going to do the prone one with the foam roller. And then we're going to do a prone 2 option as well. So hands will be on the roller, lying flat down, legs are relaxed. We'll use an inhale to reverse articulate the crown of the head, chest and shoulders forward, just to a thoracic extension today. So I'm just going to take my body into thoracic for prone 1, and then lower down. And inhale to reach away and to lift. Exhale down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale to lift. No legs, no glute activation here. We're looking just to really articulate the upper back. And 1 more time. Inhale forward and up. Proud chest. And exhale down. I'm going to encourage you to continue with a couple more reps like that if you prefer. Otherwise, you're going to attempt a prone 2. So you'll come close to your table, your chair, whatever it is that you were using before. Place the hands on top of the chair or the table and then lower the body down. So for our prone 2, we're actually leading with the bottom of the rib cage. We'll unfold the spine to look up towards the table, and then you'll dive with the chest down. Allow the head to fall last. So notice I'm not doing reverse articulation. I'm unfurling, almost like a blade of grass. So on the Cadillac, the bar would come up behind my head, and as it comes behind my head, I'm going to lift the ribs. I'm going to unfold from the base of my spine through the crown. Use that table for height. Now dive the chest down. Fall with the head. Last one. And fold. And dive. Bring the hands under the shoulders. I'd like you to take the knees wide today for a child's pose, stretching the arms out in front of you. Roll from hip to hip. Breathe out. And we'll finish there. Thank you, everyone.